Hey guys, this is Haoshen. So today, let me go through the IGCSE Maths May Paper 1. It's out of 100 marks as usual, easy at the start and it gets hard towards the end. So usually, if you can get nearly or all questions correct from 1 to 15, you're really secure for grade 7 and you just need a little bit of questions correct towards the end to grasp a 9. And usually that's around like 2 to 3 questions, getting full mark on them for the last few. But yeah, usually, and also when you do the harder version of questions, always make reference to this formula sheet if you're stuck with any formula to the specific question that's being asked. And always try to read the question twice, because sometimes the wordings may be a bit weird and that can pull you off the question. Alright then, let's get started. So answer all 23 questions. Write your answers in the spaces provided. You must write down all the stages in your working. So sometimes for insufficient workings, you can lose mark for that. So yeah. Question 1. Last season, the number of goals scored by Arjun, by Simon and by Kat for their football team were in the ratio 2 to 5 to 8. Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. Work out the number of goals scored by Kat. So usually when this is in a ratio format, they are the simplified version of the number of goals they scored. So to work out the proportion of it, you just plus them together, and this should be 15. Because in the ratio, it's 2 out of 15, 5 out of 15, and 8 out of 15. And also bear in mind that this ratio is only a proportion of the total number of goals being scored. Therefore, that would be 215x, 515x, and 815x. So therefore, it tells, so here this is Arjun, this is Simon, and this is Kat. So Simon scored 12 more goals than Arjun. So therefore, 515x minus 215x is equals to 12. And that will be 315x equals 12. So x will be 12 divided by 315, and this should give 60. So the whole thing is 60. Like the total score by all these three people was 60. Work out the number of goals scored by Kat. So here, don't you think this is the last answer? Because this is a question being asked. So if that's scored by Kat, you just simply substitute the value of x in, and you should get 32. So that's your 3 marks. Question 1. Question 2. The table gives information about the number of minutes that Abby spent walking each day in September. So here is the information. Work out an estimate for the total number of minutes that Abby spent walking in September. So basically, you find the midpoint of it. So let me just do so. And then you just have to time them all by the frequency. So 15 times 5 plus 45 times, oops. Sorry, the pen. 45 times 6 plus 75 times 8 plus 105 times 9 plus 135 times 2, and this should give 2160 if you put it in your calculator. And yeah, this is when you ask for the total number of minutes. If it asks about the average, you just add all the frequency up and then use this to divide it by the total frequency. Yeah. Question 3. Nanit buys 60 notebooks for a total cost of 780 dirham. Nanit sells 70% of the notebook for 22 dirham each. She sells the remaining notebook for 19 dirham each. Work on Nanit's percentage profit. Alright, so the original cost of the notebook is 780. And then we need to work out the new, so like the new one. So 70% of the 60, now you can express as this, for 22 dirham each, so times 22, and if you put in your calculator, you should get 924. Sells the remaining notebook, so 0.3 times 60 times 19. That will be 342. And this is a new cell, just add them together. 924 plus 342 will be 1266. So in order to work out the percentage profit and to 3 significant figures, you just have to do new minus old divided by old times it by 100. So therefore, you just have to do 1266 minus 780 divided by 780 times it by 100. So if you put in your calculator, you should get 62.3% as 3 significant figures, and yeah. Question 4. The diagram shows a sketch of triangle A and triangle B on a coordinate grid. So this shows the information here. Given that triangle A has been translated to get triangle B, work out the value of D, the value of E, and the value of F. So this is shown as vectors. So here to here, so minus 7 to 6 will mean that X has been shifted 13 to the right. And 2 to 12 will be 10 up, so 13, 10. So therefore you can form the equation that F plus 13 is equal to 9, so F will be equal to negative 4. And negative 5 to D will be negative 5 plus 10 equals to D, and D will be equal to 5. And negative 3 plus 10 is equal to E, and E should be equal to 7. And this is a nice and easy 3 marks. Alright, the diagram shows shape P and shape Q drawn on a grid. So here, describe fully the single transformation that maps shape P onto shape Q. So therefore, when it comes to this question, you should be able to realize that this is an enlargement between shapes, as they have the same ratio and they do look alike. So often when this comes up, think about which center they got enlarged at. In order to work out this, all you gotta do is to draw a line from tip to tip. So see here, you just have to do to all their corners, and the intersecting corner will be 0, 2. Enlargement, so you see the length here is 2, this length is 6. So 6 over 2 will be 3. So therefore, all you gotta say is enlargement scale factor 3, center 0, 2. On the grid above, rotate P 90° clockwise about 3/5. Label with shape R. So 3/5, draw across here, and then this. You have your tracing paper in your exam, but on my surface I can't do it because it's you don't have this on OneNote. But if you actually drawn this, you should get 0, 5, 1 6, 3 6, and 1 5. So if you line them together, that'll be R here. So that's the 2 marks. Alright, question 5. The diagram shows a shaded shape AEBCD made by removing triangle AEB from the rectangle ABCD. So AE is 7.2 centimeters, so here. BE is 5.4 centimeter, BC is 6 centimeter, and angle AEB is 90 degrees. Work out the perimeter of the shaded shape. Alright, so if you can notice that rectangle has 2 parallel sides, so 6 centimeter and this 6 centimeter. And DC should be parallel and same length as AB. So therefore, to work out AB, you have to do Pythagorean theorem. So if you recall, it will be A squared plus B squared equals to C squared. So therefore, if you plug this in, that should be 7.2 squared plus 5.4 squared is C squared. And if you square root this, you should be able to get C as 9. So this is 9, and this one should also be 9. Now it asks about the perimeter of the shape. So perimeter is the length outside of the shape, right? So you add 6, 9, 6, 5.4, 7.2. If you add them up all together, you should be able to get 33.6. Now, question 6. Simplify 2 c to the power 4 d to the power 7 overall to the power 3. Alright, always remember that, don't ignore this number here. So 2 to the power 3, 8, c to the power 4 to the power 3 will be c to the power 12 as index laws, and d 7 times 3 is 21. Find the value of 5 times y to the power of 0 where y is bigger than 0. So don't get this trick you up, because whatever the y value is, y to the power of 0, anything to the power of 0 will be 1. So 5 times 1 will be 5. Factorize fully 16a squared b cubed plus 20a cubed b. So this will have to be 4a squared b and 4b squared plus 5a. If you factorize that out properly. So di factorize x squared plus 9x minus 22. Alright, you would easily struggle with that sometimes. But let me teach you a quite easy way that will get you through the exams. So x squared, so this has coefficient 1. So 1 times 1 is 1. So negative 22. So disregard the negative first and think about the appropriate factor of 22. So you have 2 and 11, and then 2 and 11. So 2 and 11 here. Now, to make it plus 9, so one of this has to be negative, because would you want plus 11 minus a 2 to be a 9, or a positive 2 minus 11 to be a positive 9? So definitely that should be minus 2 here. So it will be x plus 11 times x minus 2. Hence, solve x squared plus 9x minus 22 equal to 0. And here, this is 1 mark only, so don't expect this to be too hard. And since it is equals to 0, so x plus 11 times x minus 2 equals to 0. So you have to use the answer you saw in your original question, and now you solve it individually. So x plus 11 equals 0, x will be equal to negative 11, and x2 will be 2. 0 plus 2, that will be 2, so there will be 2. So negative 11 and 2. Right, if I just Yep. So question 7. The region R shown shaded in the diagram is bounded by 3 straight lines. Find the inequality that defines R. Alright, first just do it normally. So this line will be x equal to 1, y equal to negative 2, and here you find a gradient. The 4 over 2 equal to 2, and then y minus y1. So here is 0, 4. We can just use this point. And then mx minus x1. So y equals to 2x plus 4. So in the shaded region here, you need to find the inequality of it. So this is under the graph, so therefore this would be less than or equals to 2x plus 4, because the ones above the graph has a greater value. X equal to 1, so since this is the left of it, alright, if that's a straight line that's left of it, it will be less than. Sorry. And y equal to negative 2, since the shaded is above it, so that should be y is bigger than or equals to negative 2. Alright. Question 8. Write 300 as a product of its prime factors. Show your working clearly. So 300 is the number. So think about the lowest prime factor that you can think of, which this is 2, and here will be 150. 150 you can divide by 2 again to get 75. The 5 divided by 5 should get you 15, and 15 can be made by 3 and 5. So the whole lowest, the prime factorization would be all the numbers here, and that should be 2 squared times 5 squared times 3. Now, A is equal to 2 times 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 5. B equals to 2 times 2 times 3 times 3 times 3 times 5. So find the lowest common multiple of 5A and 7B. So I would love to do that. I'll just times 5 here to make life simpler, and draw a Venn diagram. Here. To make it easier. So 5A, 7B. So find the lowest common multiple first. So you see here 2, 2, 2, 2, and these would be their lowest common, the greatest common factor. So 2 squared, 3 squared, and 5. So 5A you have 2 and 5 left. That's unique to its own value. And here 7B you have 3 and 7. So all you gotta do now is to times everything together in this Venn diagram only once, and this should get you, if you put in your calculator, 37,800. Solve the simultaneous equation. So 2x plus 9y equal to 14.5 and 7x plus 3y equal to 8 show clear algebraic working. So here you can, it's recommended if you use this, if you use the elimination method. So by this mean you times 3 of these on both sides and deduct from each other. So 21x plus 9y equals to 24, and 2x plus 9y is equals to 14.5. So therefore this will have to be 9.5 and 19x. So x has to be 0.5. And if you then put the 0.5 in, so 1 plus 9y to 14.5, just 13.5, and y should be equals to 1.5. So 0.5 and 1.5. Here are the test marks of 15 students. Find the interquartile range of these marks. So first, you'll be left to find the median of these values. So therefore, to find the median of it, always learn the rule that you just have to add this by 1 and then over 2. So that would be 8 of these values. So I will just do it here because everything's already ordered. But if on your test these values are messed up or not in order, you have to order it first. Find the interquartile range. So when it comes to IQR, you need to find the upper quartile and the lower quartile. The lower quartile means these values. So 15, the median of these bit, so does not consider the median. And the upper bit would be the median of these values, and find the mid bit. So therefore, upper quartile minus lower quartile will be 25 minus 15 equals to 10. So the answer for this question is 10. Now this is where it starts to get harder. The curve C has the equation y equal to 4x cubed plus x squared minus 20x. Find dy over dx. So therefore, to solve this question, all you're going to do is to move this 3 here, times it by 4x, and then deduct the power by 1. So therefore, the step works like this. So 3 times 4x squared plus 2 times x minus 20. And you should be able to get 12x squared plus 2x minus 20. And here is your answer. Here. Find the x coordinates of the point on C where the gradient is 4. Show clear algebraic working. Alright, I'm guessing many people will struggle on this because they don't know what a gradient means at this point. But always remember that this is a differentiating. When you differentiate the value, the specific value is the gradient. So this is the gradient. So they tells you that this whole thing here is 4. So now you can use this information and solve quadratics to get the value of x. So 12x squared plus 2x minus 20 is equal to 4. So you move 4 on the left hand side, and this should equal to 0. So here's when you solve quadratics. So negative 2 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4ac divided by 2a. So x1 equal to x2 equals to, so negative 2 plus square root 4 minus 4 times 12 times 24 over 24. So you got 4 over 3 and minus 3/2. So 4/3 and minus 3/2. Question 12. The cumulative frequency graph shows information about the heights in centimeter of the 50 plants in a flower bed. Use the graph to find an estimate for the median height of these plants. Always remember that median height will therefore be the half of the cumulative frequency, and you use this information to find the height. So half of 50 will be 25. So if I just draw a line here, and on the attached bit, you should be able to get 28. So 28 centimeters. Use the graph to find the frequency of the class interval between 30 and 40. So you draw a line on 30 upwards and you find 30 here. So 30 here. And you draw a line on 40 upwards. And then you get 44. So 44 minus 30 is equal to 40. So the answer is 40. Use the graph to find an estimate for the number of plants with a height greater than 35 centimeters. So here, you're changing the variables. So you're not looking at the cumulative frequency, but you're looking at the height. So here, you draw the line through 35 upwards and you draw a line horizontal. That'll be 38 here. So since it asks about greater than 35 centimeters, so if you know that the height of 35 centimeters has 38 of them, so above that, so it'll be the total minus that 38 will be 12. So therefore, this will be 12. So here is 2 marks, right? So 1 mark for actually reading it, and 2nd mark for actually getting the value here. Question 13. A is the point with coordinates -5, 12. B is the point with coordinates 19, -48. Find an equation with straight line that passes through the points A and B. So first, you find the gradient. So m equals to y2 minus y1 is equal to x2 minus x1. So minus minus positive. So -48, -12 over 19 plus 5. And this will be equal to -5 over 2. Or you can say -2.5. But it doesn't matter. So y minus y1, I'll use the first one. Yeah, I'll use the first one, equal to mx minus x1. So now you just have to expand the bracket on the right hand side. So now you bring the 12 to the right hand side, and bear in mind that since this is negative here, so this should be positive there. 24 over 2, so therefore this should give y equal to -5 over 2x minus 1/2. So this would be your answer to this question. Question 14. Factorize fully 50g squared minus 18. It's similar to the previous one, but do realize that this question is 3 marks, so it's a little bit of a thinking work. And normally, I would assume that you would definitely know the stage to factor out 2 here. But you may struggle a bit to find how to factorize this part. But if you learn the algebraic manipulation rule, which is a bit hard, so a squared minus b squared should be equal to a plus b and a minus b. So if you apply it here, this should be 2, 5g plus 3 and 5g minus 3. So that would be 2, 5g plus 3. So that's the answer for this question. Question 15. Part A. So square root of 2 divided by 8 cubed divided by 16 to the power of 3/2 equal to 2 to the power of n. Work out the value of n. Show your working clearly. So here, you see here's the square root of 2. So square root of 2, bear in mind, is equal to 2 to the power of a half. And 8 cubed will be equal to 2 to the power of 3 to the power of 3. So this would give 2 to the power of 9. And 16 to the power of 3 half equal to 2 to the power of 4 to the power of 3 half equal to 2 to the power of 6. So therefore 2 to the power of a half divided by 2 to the power of 6 divided by 2 to the power of 2 to the power of 9 divided by 2 to the power of 6. If you simplify it, this should give divided by 2 to the power of 3. And a half minus 3, now you're just working on the index. This should give minus 2.5. So the answer is minus 2.5. Find 4% of 4.5 times 10 to the power of 157. Give your answer in standard form. So 4% will be 0.04 times this value, so 4.5 times 10 to the power of 157. And now bear in mind that standard form is a single integer, so one digit integer multiplied by 10 to the power of something, and the integer has to be between 1 and 10. So therefore I would love to work out by simply work out 0.04 times 4.5 will be 0.18 times 10 to the power 157. But you can't leave it this way because this is not in the standard form. So here I would like to times this by 10, so 1.8. But to make it equilibrium the same, you would divide 10 on the other side, so on this term. And this means the same as that. So the answer will be 1.8 times 10 to the power 156. Alright, question 16. The Venn diagram shows a universal set E and sets A, B, and C. The numbers in the letter X represents numbers of elements. Given that number of A union B is 42, find the value of X. So everything added together on these two sets is 42. So 9 plus X plus 5 plus 3 plus 12 plus 7 is 42. So therefore, if you use 42 to deduct all these values, that should give you 6. So X equals 6. So number of outside A, so anything that's outside of set A, that will be 12 plus 7 plus 10 plus 7. So 12 plus 7 plus 10 plus 7, that will give you 36. So 36 here. Find the number of outside B intersecting with C. So outside B is everything there, and only in this set C is this set, so you only have 5 and 10. So if you add them together, this should give 50. Question 17. The functions g and h are such that gx is equal to 11 over 2x minus 5 and hx is equal to x squared plus 4, where x is bigger than or equal to 0. So what value of x must be excluded from any domain of g? So you see that this is the denominator, right? And denominator cannot be equal to 0. So must be excluded means that it can't be equal to 0. So equal to 0 here. So 2x will equal to 5 and x will equal to 5 over 2. So 5 over 2 is the answer here. Now a harder version. Solve gx equal to 1. So basically you're plugging the value of hx into the x of gx. So therefore 11 over 2 x squared plus 4 minus 5 is equal to 1. So 11, if you just times both sides by the denominator, you should get this, and then if you put 11 here, so equal to 0 to x squared plus 4, then oh, I should use a better way, so 16 equal to 2x squared plus 4, divide both sides by 2, minus each side by 4, so x is equals to 2 or negative 2. But since it says x bigger than or equal to 0, you cannot have negative 2. So x equals 2. Alright, question 18. Histograms. The incomplete table and the incomplete histograms give information about the times in minute that 140 people waited at a station for train. So here's the information. And before you even start, you should be able to realize that frequency density is equal to frequency over class widths. So frequency density here will be 23 divided by 5 will be 4.6. And then since it only gives the frequency density of this two, and usually frequency density is very low, so 1, 2, 3. So here's 2.5. So if 2.5 is here and times in minutes here, so class width and frequency density both and frequency and class width both are just times them together, frequency will be 25. And here you can work out this frequency is 4, so the second column is 4, so 4 times 15 will give you 60. So 60 as a frequency. Oh, sorry. Well, so here. So now this you completed the table. So now you have to complete the frequency the histogram. Because it's complete the table and the histograms. So 0 to 5, the frequency density is 4.6. So it'll be from here and you draw the line down. And then here is 10, and then you need to find the frequency density by doing the class width frequency over class width. So 1.8. So 1.8 here, you draw it down. And then here is the frequency over class width, so 0.7. No. And then here you get 4 marks. Question 19. OMA, OMB, and NPA are straight lines. M is the midpoint of OA. ON ratio to MB is 1:5. OM is A and ON is B. So find in terms of A and B the vector AN. So if this is the M, so this has to be A. So from A to N, so since this is going the clockwise direction, from A to N go the opposite direction, so therefore this will be negative 2A plus B. And that's the answer for question A. Now for question B. Use the vector method to find the ratio AP to PN. So therefore how I will do this is that I will use fraction method. So AP is a fraction of AN, and MP is a fraction of MB. So you will be benefited if you first find AN before you try to engage with the gradient. So AN is here, and then you already have it from the previous question. So negative 2A plus B. Now you have to find MB. So MB would be that if you need to read the question ON to MB is 1 to 5. So that will be 5B here. So MB will be negative A plus 6B. So negative A plus 6B. So here this is this length. And now AP has another direction. So you can go within a way of negative so AM plus MP. So therefore, if you use the actual value in the AP would equal to negative A plus Y times negative A plus 6B. And bear in mind that there's another equation, another way, where you just identify the fraction of AP. That should give X times negative 2A plus B. And here, you can make them in terms of A. So make the equation in terms of A. So negative 1 minus Y times A plus 6YB. And here will be negative 2X A plus X B. So therefore, negative 1 minus Y equal to negative 2X and 6Y is equals to X. Therefore, negative 1 minus Y equal to negative 2, 6Y, and then negative 1 minus Y equal to negative 12Y. So if you bring the Y here, so you add Y on both sides, this should give negative 11Y equal to negative 1, and Y should equal to 1 over 11 if you do the division rule properly. And you plug the value of Y in. So since 6Y equals to 11, so 6 times 1 over 11, and this should give 611. So 6x equal to 6 over 11, so this bit has to be equal to 5 over 11. And since it asks the vector in ratio AP to Pn, so this is AP and this is Pn, so therefore 6 over 11 or to ratio to 5 over 11 will be 6 ratio 5. Let's keep going. Question 20. The sum of the first 80 terms of an arithmetic series S is 470. The 75th term of S is 14.5. The sum of the first X terms of S is 171. Work out the value of X. Show your working clearly. This is a 6-mark question here, you see. So this requires lots of work to be done. So if you find this question easy, you may want to have a second reread of it, because you can easily misread the question and losing lots of marks, as there's no error carried forward mark in the later questions. So sum rule. So UN is equal to n over 2 2a plus n minus 1 times d. And then the set rule, so set n will be equal to a plus sn minus 1 times d. So therefore, the sum of the 80 terms is 470. So 40, because 80 divided by 2, so 2a plus 79d. Then set rule, so set 75, so it tells you that 14.5 is equals to a plus 74d. So therefore, you can simplify the first of the equation. So that will be 11.75 equals to 2a plus 79d. And you can just multiply this equation by 2. So that will be 29 equals to 2a plus 148d. So if you subtract 148 by 79, you can get 69d is equals to 17.25, and you can get D as 0.25. Then if you just substitute the value of D in, so you should be getting 29 minus 148 times 0.25. This will be negative 8 equals to 2a, and a will be negative 4. So now the sum of the first x terms of s is 171. So 171 is equal to x over 2 multiplied by 2a plus x minus 1 times 0.25. So therefore, to make it simpler, you will just times both sides by 2. So 342 is equal to negative 8x plus 0.25x squared minus 0.25x. So if you multiply, I would like to multiply each side by 4 to make sure there's no fractional parts. X squared minus x. So now you can form quadratic equation. So negative 33x 1368 equal to 0. So negative b plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4a and c divided by 2. So x1 will be equal to 33 plus or minus square root of b squared minus 4 times a. And you could get 57. So the next also solution will be negative 24. But since sequences don't have negatives, so you can't consider this, the answer is 57. This starts to get a lot harder now. So question 11, a curve has equation y equal to fx. There is only one turning point in the curve. The coordinates of this turning point are 6, 5. Write down the coordinates of the turning point on the curve with equation y equal to fx minus 4. Bear in mind that if x minus 4 in the bracket, you will just simply add the x value by 4. So 10, 5. Y equal to f3x. So you also do the inverse. You just divide the x value by 3. So that will be 2, 5. Question 22. Now this needs the active use of sine rule and the area of triangles. So the diagram shows two circles with center O and a regular pentagon ABCDE. So here, as you can see, ABCDE are points on a larger circle. The pentagon has side of length 8 cm. The diagram is shaded such that the shaded area is equal to the unshaded area. Work out the radius of the smallest circle. Give your answer correct to 3 significant figures. So therefore, by this means, it's easier if you first split the triangle here. So that it makes it easier when you calculate the angles and the use of area of triangle. So therefore look, so this is 360 degrees and it's been divided by 5 times. So therefore, you can just find the central angle here using this. So this each will be 72. And now you can since this makes it equilateral, so 180 minus 72 divided by 2. The 180 minus 72 divided by 2 will be 54. So 54 here and 54 there. The pentagon has side of length 8 centimeters. So this is 8. You can find the length of here using the sine rule. So 8 over sine 72 is equals to something over sine 54. So 8 times sine 54 divided by sine 72. So this should be 6.805. So this will be 6.805. And now, and this is also 6.805. Now you might think that this is a little hard to continue, right? I agree it is. But if you read this carefully, shaded area to unshaded area, you can now start to form equations. So here you see that you define the radius of the smaller circle, so here, right? So the smaller circle will be pi r squared. And so how would the shaded work would therefore just be the whole thing, so 6.805 squared times pi minus the area of, so basically the area of pentagon. We will solve it later. Minus pi r squared. And then the unshaded bit would simply just be that. So area of pentagon minus pi r squared. So therefore, if we just now start to work on the area of pentagon, you can simply just use the area of the triangle rule using the sine rule. So it's half AB sine C. So therefore, half times 6.805 times 6.805. So this times sine 72. So if you just use it in a calculator, this should give you 22.02. But since there are 5 of them, you will just have to times it again by 5. Therefore, times it by 5 would give 110.104. Actually, better leave it as 2 decimal place. So therefore, if you plug it in, so 6.805 squared pi minus 110.10 minus pi r squared will be equal to 110.10 minus the pi r squared. Don't you think this can cancel out, because minus minus makes it positive. So 6.805 pi minus 110.10 plus pi r squared is equals to 110.10 minus pi r squared. So here we can move all the value of numbers to here and move the pi r squared there. So by this means you can do you can just put everything into a calculator. So 2 pi minus 110.10 minus 110.10 0.10. So that will be 24.28095 equals to negative wait. So it's probably, it'll give negative, so it'll probably be better if 805 squared pi plus pi r squared equals to. You move the pi r squared here, so 2 pi r squared therefore 8.0805 squared times pi would be 145.48. 2 pi r squared equals 220.20. So 220.20 minus 145.48, and that will give 74.72 equals to 2 pi r squared. And then to make it just pi r squared, but pi r squared equals to 74.72 divided by 2 would be 37.36. And then to work out the value of r, you just simply rearrange the formula, divide this by pi, square root of that. So square root of 37.36 over pi will simply give you 3.448. But because it says to 3 significant figures, I'll give it to 3.45. So 3.45 here. Now, question 23. A frustum is made by removing a small square-based pyramid from a similar large square-based pyramid as shown in the diagram. So here, this is what it shows. The height of the small pyramid is 15 cm. The height of the large pyramid is 45 cm, and the square base of the large pyramid has a side length of 39 cm. Work out the total surface area of the frustum. Give your answer correct to the nearest whole number. So the height of the small one is 15. So here, the height of the large one is 45. So this can tell you that the scale factor will be from 1 to 3. So therefore 39 to here would also be in a scale factor of 1 to 3. Here this would be 30 and this would be 30. So 39 divided by 3 is 30. And bear in mind this is the last question in the paper. So honestly this does require some good thing, some critical and some challenging bits here. So it's not going to be easy. And now, so if you just draw a straight line through the middle, because later on you need to work out the area of the trapezium, so therefore this should be midway through this. So 39 divided by 2 will be 19.5 and 19.5. So if this is 90.5, this has to be 90.5 too, because this is the same length. And this is, since this is 45, you can seriously then just work out this whole part. So therefore, using the Pythagoras, so 45 squared, you can just do square root of that. So square root of 19.5 squared plus 45 squared will be 49.04. And then based on its scale factor, so this is only 1/3 of it and this is 2/3 of it, so 49.04 times 2/3 times 2/3 of it, and should give 32.7. So it's 32.7 is here. So if you work out the area of the trapezium, this should give 13 plus 39 times height. So the height is 32 point, right, point 7, divide this by 2, and remember to times it by 4 because there are 4 sided to it. So 32.7 times 13 plus 39 divided by 2 times it by 4. So this should give 3,400.8. But that's not the end of it, because it's the surface area, so it's all the face. So therefore this face will be 13 times 13 and 39 times 39. So therefore that will be 13 times 13 plus 39 times 39 would be 1690. So 1690 and 3,400.8, and this should get 1690 plus 3,400.8 would give you 5090.8, and since it asks you correct the nearest whole number, and my answer will be 5091. So the answer to this question is 5091. I mean, in my opinion, this paper is a quite okay paper. It does contain some challenging and hard questions, but there are some questions that are quite easy to get through. So always remember to recheck and then reread and then stop and think, because sometimes it may be just that question that gets you up to a grade 9. And also bear in mind, don't stress with it, because you don't need all the questions to be correct to get a grade 9. As last year in 2023, you only just need 80%. So you just pretty much need about like 18 questions correct, and you're pretty fine with it. So yeah, good luck.